My name is Alex Wynn, and today I'll be sharing a presentation on one of the most well-known and celebrated parts of Jamaican food culture, which is jerk cooking. Now, when most people hear the word jerk, they immediately think of spicy chicken sizzling on a grill. Maybe something you've had at a street fair or Caribbean restaurant. But jerk cooking is far more than just a recipe or dish. It's deeply connected to Jamaica's history, its geography, its people, and its culture. I'll be going through how jerk began hundreds of years ago, how it developed over time, what it meant to the people who created it, and how it spread around the world. By the end, I hope you'll see jerk not just as a food, but as a story. Jamaica's story told through smoke, spice, and flavor. Origins in maroon culture. The roots of jerk cooking go back to the 1600s, during a time of slavery and colonial rule in Jamaica. Many Africans who were enslaved by the British managed to escape into the island's rugged mountains. These brave men and women became known as Maroons. Living in the mountains meant survival was difficult. They needed food that would last, and they needed cooking methods that wouldn't give away their location to slave catchers. Out of these challenges, jerk cooking emerged. They learned to season and preserve their meat heavily. They cooked it slowly in underground pits so that very little smoke was visible. This method gave the meat a smoky, spicy flavor, while also helping it last longer. So from the very beginning, jerk was not just about eating. It was about survival, freedom, and identity for the Maroons. It represented their independence and their ability to live on their own terms. Influence of the Taino. Of course, the Maroons were not the first people in Jamaica to use these kind of techniques. Long before Europeans or Africans arrived, the island was home to the Taino people. The Taino had their own traditional cooking method called barbacoa. If that word sounds familiar, it should. It's where the English word barbecue comes from. The Taino would season meat with herbs and peppers and cook it slowly over wood, allowing the smoke to flavor the food. When the Maroons began developing their style of cooking, they borrowed from and built on the Taino's knowledge. They took the idea of slow smoking meat and they combined it with their own spices and seasonings. So, jerk cooking became a blend of two cultures, indigenous Taino techniques and African flavors. This blending of cultures shows how food often carries history with it, telling stories of struggle, exchange, and adaptation. Geography and climate. To understand jerk cooking fully, we also have to understand Jamaica's geography and climate. Jamaica is a mountainous island with dense forests, caves, and rivers. These natural features gave the Maroons places to hide and build free communities away from colonial control. But the same landscapes also provided resources for cooking: hardwood trees, wild animals like boar, and a wide variety of herbs and spices. The climate of Jamaica is tropical, hot, humid, and wet for most of the year. That climate made preserving food a constant challenge. Meat could spoil quickly, especially without refrigeration. So heavy seasoning with hot peppers and allspice, cooking meat slowly over smoky fires, helped keep it edible for longer. And most importantly, some of the plants that are essential to jerk, like Scotch bonnet, peppers, and pimento trees, thrive in the climate. So the geography and weather didn't set the stage just for jerk. They directly shape the way jerk tastes and the way it is cooked. In many ways, jerk is the island itself, expressed in food form. Let's talk about the ingredients. One of the most important of them is pimento, also known as allspice in the bottom. Jamaica is the largest producer of allspice in the world, and it grows naturally in the island soil. Its warm, peppery flavor is one of the most defining tastes of jerk. Then we have Scotch bonnet peppers over on the left. These little peppers are really hot, among the hottest in the world, but they also have a fruity and almost sweet flavor that makes them unique. Their heat is a signature part of jerk cooking. Other local ingredients include thyme, scallions, ginger, garlic, and nutmeg. Because Jamaica's tropical climate allows herbs and spices to grow year-round, cooks had constant access to fresh and aromatic flavors. So jerk seasoning is not just random, it's a direct reflection of the land and agriculture of Jamaica. The Maroons worked with what grew around them, and those flavors became the heart of jerk. But the real magic of jerk lies in how all of them are combined. The seasoning blend on the right is what makes jerk instantly recognizable. At the core, of course, is the Scotch bonnet peppers and allspice. Around that are base are thyme, scallions, garlic, nutmeg, cinnamon, and sometimes ginger. When these are ground together, they create a seasoning that is spicy, smoky, sweet, and herbal all at once. The seasoning not only makes the food delicious, it also helps preserve the meat in Jamaica's hot climate. Many of the spices have natural antimicrobial properties, which slowed down spoilage. So jerk seasoning worked on two levels. It made the food safe to eat, and it gave them an unforgettable taste. Over the centuries, that seasoning has become the signature of Jamaican jerk. Cooking method. Seasoning is only half the equation. The other half is, of course, how the food is cooked. Traditionally, jerk meat was placed over slow-burning fires made from pimento wood. That wood produces a distinctive smoke that flavored the meat. The maroons often cooked in pits or covered fires, both to trap heat in and to hide the smoke from enemies. Nowadays, many jerk vendors use cut open old drum barbecues, but the same principle is used. Meat cooked low and slow, with plenty of smoke, until it becomes tender and infused with flavor. This method, combined with the seasonings, create food that is unlike anything else, smoky, spicy, and deeply satisfying. Without both parts, the seasoning and the cooking method, jerk would not be what it is today. Cultural significance. Jerk eventually became more than a survival food. It became a cultural symbol. For the Maroons, jerk represented independence and resilience. It was proof that they could not only survive, but thrive on their own terms. Over time, as Jamaica developed national identity, jerk became a dish that represented the entire country. It is often eaten at family gatherings, street food stalls, and celebrations. And for Jamaicans living abroad, cooking jerk is a way to staying connected to home. So jerk is not just a meal. It's an expression of heritage. It carries a story of resistance, survival, and cultural pride in every bite. As Jamaicans migrated throughout the 20th century, jerk traveled with them. In cities like London, Toronto, and New York, Jamaican communities introduced jerk to new audiences. By the 1970s and 80s, bottled jerk seasoning was being sold in international supermarkets. Today, jerk is found in restaurants all over the world. Chefs experiment with it in creative ways. Jerk shrimp, jerk tofu, jerk pizza, and even jerk tacos. What began as a survival technique in the mountains of Jamaica is now a global food trend. This spread shows the power of food to travel with people, carry culture across borders, and adapt to new settings without losing its roots. Back in Jamaica, jerk is celebrated every year with festivals. The most famous is the Portland Jerk Festival. At these events, thousands of people gather to enjoy jerk chicken and pork cooked in the traditional way. But it's not just about the food. There's live reggae music, dancing, and community spirit. It's a celebration of culture, pride, and identity. These festivals also attract visitors from around the world. They offer a chance to taste authentic jerk while also experiencing Jamaican music and hospitality. They show how jerk remains at the center of Jamaican life, both as food and as culture. Jerk has also become not only a cultural symbol, but one of their biggest tourism symbols. When people think of Jamaica, they often think of reggae music, sandy beaches, and spicy jerk chicken. Tourism campaigns and advertisements often highlight jerk food as something you must try if you visit. Restaurants, food stalls, and resorts all showcase jerk as part of the Jamaican experience. In this way, jerk is not just a cultural food, it's also an economic driver, bringing in tourism revenue and supporting local communities. So jerk is at once a heritage food, a symbol of identity, and a part of Jamaica's global image. Modern adaptations. Over time, jerk has continued to evolve in the modern world. Chefs all over the globe use jerk seasoning in fusion dishes. You might see jerk sushi rolls, jerk burgers, or vegan jerk made with jackfruit or tofu. These adaptations show jerk's flexibility and appeal to different audiences. At the same time, traditional maroon communities and Jamaican cooks preserve their original methods: the smoky fires, the pimento wood, the careful spice blends. So jerk exists on two levels. It adapts to new culinary settings while also still holding on to its history. That balance between tradition and innovation is what keeps it alive and thriving. To conclude, Jamaican jerk cooking is so much more than a spicy dish. It is a story of geography, history, and resilience. It was born from the maroon struggle for freedom, shaped by the Taino people's cooking traditions, and influenced by Jamaica's land and climate. It became a national symbol, spread across the world. Today it continues to evolve while still holding on to its roots. When you eat jerk, you're not just enjoying a delicious flavor. You're tasting centuries of culture, struggle, creativity, and resilience. Jerk is, in every sense, Jamaica's story on a plate. Thank you. And here's my references. Also, here's one of my recommendations. I went last year, but I couldn't find the picture that I took. But here's one from Yelp. I got the oxtail with rice. It was really good. I would recommend it.